my name is Kinsey Short, and today I'll be speaking to you about the Death with Dignity Act. According to the CDC, in America, 70% of people would prefer to die in their homes. However, only 25% are actually able to do so. The Death with Dignity Act is important to me because as a nurse's aide, I see the struggles that terminal illnesses can bring to people and their families. I also think it's important for other people to care about the Death with Dignity Act because terminal illnesses can strike at any time, to anyone, anywhere, and you can't tell that it's going to come. The Death with Dignity Act is legal in 3 out of 50 states, and it basically is where a physician prescribes a very heavy dose of sedatives to a patient who has a terminal illness, and the patient chooses when and where to take these medications, and it eventually results in death. Some of the restrictions that apply to the Death with Dignity Act are the reluctance of the doctors and the patients. In a poll taken by the New England Journal of Medicine, 46% of doctors said that they would prescribe the heavy dose of sedatives to a patient if it were requested by them. However, 52% said that they would not because of moral obligations. However, not all of the reluctance comes from the doctor. In the Oregon Health Authority website, it says that 218 prescriptions were given to terminally ill patients in 2015, and only 132 deaths occurred because of these prescriptions. So a lot of times these people are not taking the medications that they're given. They only get them so that they have that as an option if it were needed. Another restriction with the Death with Dignity Act is religion. Some religions don't believe that this act infringes on their beliefs, such as the Northern Baptists, the Methodists. They don't believe that this act is in any way an infringement on their beliefs. However, the most opposition comes from the Catholic Church. The Vatican released a press statement saying that there is no dignity in the Death with Dignity Act. They do not see that as something to be prideful of. They also said that while they do not judge people, they do believe that the gesture itself should be condemned. So that's another major restriction on the use of Death with Dignity Act. Finally, when doctors become medical doctors, they're required to take the Hippocratic Oath, which basically says, I will do no harm, I will do everything in my power to protect these people and help them. In the final sentence, it says, warmth, sympathy, and understanding outweighs the surgeon's knife and the chemist's drug. So, depending on which side you're on, whether you support or whether you oppose Death with Dignity, you can read this sentence 2 different ways. Supporters read this sentence saying sympathy outweighs, such as sympathy for the person and their illness, so letting them end their life in the most dignified way is following the Hippocratic Oath. However, people who oppose this idea say that sympathy outweighs the chemist's drug means that palliative care, which is basically just taking care of a person and making sure they're comfortable before they pass away, is stronger than a chemist drug, aka the heavy dose of sedatives that the patient gets for euthanasia. This can be taken 2 different ways, so it's hard to differentiate which way it meant, which is another restriction on the use of Death with Dignity. People just aren't sure which way to take that. Due to these restrictions on the Death with Dignity Act, it's difficult for patients to have control over their own health care because it's not legal in many states. They would have to move to another state, meet all the requirements and guidelines, and the restrictions religiously and morally still just don't allow them to have complete control over their health care. These disagreements are the main reason why the 70% of Americans who wish to die at their homes, 2/3 of those don't actually get to, which is why the Death with Dignity Act is so important. Thank you.